have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
So, Luke, what are you drinking today?
Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
I made a bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Yo! I learned my lessons from last night. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day.
I'm here to give you a favor, James.
Magic face. Ukulele.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like Boulevard Draw Street smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Man, it's I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Todd,
Hello.
hi. Can people hear Todd?
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me,
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear
Now,
you before.
but not before. When I was doing my fancy intro,
Yes.
you couldn't hear me.
So mean.
I'm sorry, man. Can you guys hear me now in the chat? Because I can hear Todd. Todd can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right, it's good now. All right,
Yeah,
it's really
that's
weird. It's really weird. It's also behind the scenes when what I told you, Todd, when you came in.
Yeah.
I always need to do this little like test.
Yeah.
It's Streamlabs. I'm really sorry, and this kind of sucks because my intro was absolutely amazing. So yeah, and you all missed it. So
Wow.
damn it.
Well, to those who read lips, they didn't miss a thing. They just missed the umbra of your voice, obviously.
Okay, let me test something. Let me
By all
test something,
means.
Todd. All right. Can you guys hear me now? All right, you can hear me now. All right. Yeah, there was also something last week when I did my little intro.
Yeah.
And I could see myself here, like full screen, right?
Yeah.
But when I rewatched it, I was like center screen with a small little screen. So visually it was different here than on the live stream.
Weird.
Strange. So weird things going on. Anyway, Todd, usually I do my little intro, then I have like an introduction to the guest. We have a little applause. I bring you on. But today things go differently. Wait, my light.
That's what happens when I'm on show. Things just get chaos.
Yeah, man. Would you change things, which is awesome. Sometimes we need to change things up a little bit.
Yes.
Wait, let me first, before we continue our chat, Todd, let me go through the chat. Let's see who's here. We started with Gorilla Mar. Gorilla Mar. Hi there. What's up, guys? Won't be able to stay for this one. Got a sick kiddo. Oh, have a great stream, Dave. Thank you, Gorilla Mar, for dropping by and for saying hi. And good luck to your kid, man. Yeah. Good luck. Hope he feels better soon. Here is the link for today's campaign. It's pinned in the chat. If you're curious, guys, go check it out. Edwin Bus Acevedo, welcome, Edwin. Welcome. Nice to see you, sir. Darius Artist, a wonderful artist.
No sound.
From the Netherlands. Welcome, Darius. How are you? He warned me there was no sound. And it must have looked
Where?
58 Underground is also here. Welcome, 58 Underground. Welcome. By the way, guys, because I didn't have my little intro, you didn't hear, but I shipped out packages to Critical Blast, to the United States. So if you're a United States backer, which is like, what is it, 95% of my audience, your books are shipped, most of them, right? So most of the books are shipped right now as soon as Critical Blast has them. And these are Perfect 10 book 5. That's this book right here. Because the other new book, POWERTRIP, book 2, was done, and that was shipped out to Critical Blast a few months back. So he has that, and together with this, he can start making shipments for you guys, right? So excellent. That's all in motion. And welcome, Mike, fan of JDN, Jamin, and Dark Sides Comics. Welcome, Mike. How are you today, man? Hi, Dave and Todd. Have a great drink. Yeah. Thank you so much. Packages. Yes, and your package has been shipped out a week ago, Mike. It's on its way. So I hope you get it soon, man. You never know. These packages travel across the planet, and sometimes it's there within the week, and sometimes it takes like 3 months, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Can I tell you a story about that? Okay. So it was during my last issue for this series we're about to talk about. And I had, much like you, backers all over the world. So I'm from Illinois in the US. Right. And so right next to us is Indiana. And I had a friend who pledged to Tokyo, and so I shipped it to him. I had another person who lived in California, which is, a lot of states away. I sent them out on the same day. Okay? The same day.
Yeah.
California person got it within like 3 days. A month later, my guy messaged me and goes, "Hey, I finally got the Tokyo package." I'm like, "Why did it take so long?" And he goes, "I don't know, but here's how it looks." It looked like a truck had run over it and then like dumped a whole bunch of water on it.
Oh,
and
no.
like, how? How did that happen? It makes no sense. So I think obviously I shipped him another copy, of course, charge, but it's just like, how is it that the California person got it in perfect condition, but the Indiana person got it like, run over and trashed? I'm like, come on, Postal Service.
Yeah, it got stuck somewhere and they found it like a few weeks later or something.
I guess.
You never know, man. But when something like that happens, it can happen. You just send a new package out, right? Yeah. I had one time, there was this backer and he was asking about his package, and I had shipped it out weeks before, but I just sent him this new one. And then he later told me that. So the second package arrived before the first package that I sent him. So the first package did get to him, but it was completely like opened, and books had fallen out, and stuff happened to it. It went through hell. So
usually it's just us creators who go through that.
yeah, exactly. Welcome, Matthew Creek. Welcome, sir. And Darius Artist says, gotta watch out for angry truckers. Yeah, man. These truckers. Most truckers are good people. All right. Anyway, welcome, Todd. Welcome to the show. This is your first time here, right?
Yes, it is.
So before we talk about anything, I need to ask you the question that I need to start the show with is, what are you drinking right now?
Well, much like the great Orson Welles, I drink only the French champagnes. The French champagnes are known for their excellence. Some people are not going to get that joke, and you need to look it up.
Oh.
No, I actually don't drink too much during the day. I had a glass of water just to make sure my throat was nice and taken care of. But I usually only drink pop. Let's see what do I got. I got Mountain Dew and Diet
What is
Pepsi.
that?
Soda.
Oh right, yeah. I have to say.
So, now, yesterday, if we had done this chat yesterday, I would have had a chocolate milkshake with me because I love my chocolate milkshakes.
All right.
Yeah.
There's says, "Oh, you have disappointed Optimus Prime."
No, we drink the French champagnes until all are one. Roll out.
Mike says, "I interact with truck drivers every workday face to face. They're good, down to earth guys." Yeah, exactly.
My uncle used to be a truck driver, so
really?
I could testify to that. He's as redneck as redneck can be, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, man. There must be a really like nowadays with everyone like ordering everything.
Yeah.
People order everything, so packages go
Everywhere.
travel every day around the world. It's remarkable that everything just functions like it functions, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
They are very underappreciated. So be nice to your truck drivers.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. All right. Todd,
Hi.
to introduce you to the viewers, for people who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey towards becoming a comic book creator?
Yes, I will. Got it. The hair is my best asset. But yes, I am Todd Black. Nice to be here. Thank you, Dave. I've been making comics and novels for over 10 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been doing it a while. How I started was I grew up in the golden age of like really great cartoons and such, the 90s. So I was inspired by a whole bunch of things like Batman animated series, Spider-Man, X-Men, Superman, Justice League, Batman Beyond, all them, Teen Titans, Avatar. And over time, as I watched like these shows and certain animes like Pokemon and such, Dragon Ball Z, I started putting myself into the stories, and it's like, what would be like my take? How would I do the story slightly differently? And eventually that led to me just writing a whole bunch of things. Or when I realized my writing was terrible, like actual writing, I typed everything up. Seriously, I have terrible handwriting. But I started typing things up, and then I started writing stories. And then eventually I went to a Comic-Con while I was in college, my first Comic-Con in Chicago called C2E2. And they had a panel there called Doing Comics the Marvel Way. And on that panel was Matt Fraction, who actually was just recently announced to be doing a Batman comic, which will be awesome, I'm sure. And I straight up asked him, I said, I have an idea and I want to make comics. What do I do? And he goes, well, if you're a writer and you want to make comics, go find an artist and go make comics. I'm like, okay. So fast forward 2 years, because, it takes money to make comics unless you do it all yourself, which I am not that talented. Sorry.
Wait, so he told you, so Matt told you to find a writer and make comics?
Artist. No.
Oh, the artist, right.
I'm the writer. And
yeah. But maybe he didn't know, right?
No. I made it clear that I was the writer, but he's like, no, find an artist and make comics. I'm like, okay. So it took me a couple of years, but I found an artist. I found two artists actually. and we started to make my first series, which was a superhero series called Guardians, because again, I grew up on superheroes, so this is what I knew.
Sure. Yeah.
And we made 3 issues right off the bat. I almost went broke because, again, comics are costly to create. So I had to take a step back. Then I worked out a deal with one of my artists to do it for much more cheaply, to create the comics more cheaply. Then we just started cranking out comics like every 6 weeks or so.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It was we were doing a lot of work for very little money, but I was like, I had the dream, Dave. I had the dream.
Yeah.
And this was like in the early days of like Comixology, like right when they started their submit program. I thought, oh, I'll make a whole bunch of money off of Comixology.
By the way, these were like floppy sized books.
Yeah,
Every 6 weeks. Right.
Yeah, 20-page issues every 6 weeks or so. And so eventually I grew enough to where I was like, okay, I need to do some other genres and stuff just to branch out and just to have fun with my writing, because I was starting to submit to publishers at that time. I was trying to get my books in the hands of like Marvel and DC, which I did, but nothing ever came of it. And so I just started creating, and all of a sudden I started had like a whole bunch of graphic novels and books, and I've published between my comics and novels 50 plus books, not including anthology works. So
wow.
Yeah, I've written a lot, Dave, and dear viewers, and it's
busy,
been
man.
I try to. I'm always writing. Like right now, I'm working on 4 projects right now, 3 comics and 1 novel. Technically 2 novels, but 1 novel mainly. So always got something in the works, and I've got more ideas that I want to make when the time and money allows.
I know the problem. Welcome to the chat, Mr. Tank Ferret. Welcome, sir. Ahoy, all you sagacious scalawags.
Sagacious, what a word.
Yes.
Look that up. Sagacious.
That's Tank's word. Mike says, R, mighty Q foghorn. Find an artist, then find customers. Yeah,
it was the second part that I had trouble with, Darius. Yes.
So how did the process go in finding your artist?
Well, at the time there were, and this was 2014, 2015, something like that. Facebook was not Facebook. I think that's fair to say. So there weren't like 1,000 groups where you can go find artists. There were websites though, which I honestly miss. There were these websites that I could go to where I could say like Writer Seeks Artists and stuff like that. And the first one I went to was one called CG Hub, and that's where I found my first two artists, Eng Chi Chua and then Alex Garcia. Alex has become like my diehard go-to artist for like everything. He works on almost all the books I do, including Tokyo Blade Detectives. He's the cover artist for the series. And he started off as just the colorist, became the letterer, and then when Eng Chi had to leave, he became the everything.
All right.
He did everything but the writing.
Holy shit.
That's my job. So
you're basically a 2-man band right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and with Tokyo, we have a few more players, but Alex is the guy where I'm like, I need this project done. Alex, can you do it? And he goes, yeah, I can do it. So
all right.
I wouldn't have even close to what I have right now if it wasn't for Alex. So eternally grateful to him. But
that's fantastic. Tank Ferret asks what's on the menu. Well, we're talking today about a book called Tokyo Blade Detectives, right?
Yep.
That's your second series, you told me, right?
No. It's my second longest running series.
Longest running series, yeah.
Longest running series.
That was it.
Yeah. In terms of series, I've got at least 10 across all my many projects. Yeah. So do you crowdfund all your books, or how do you gather the funds? Most of them I crowdfund, like with Tokyo. Tokyo was entirely crowdfunded. Guardians was self-funded. I tried Kickstarter with Guardians one time, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. Might have just been my inexperience at the time. Let's see, how many series I funded on Kickstarter. I started with Home, which was a 5-issue miniseries, funded all 5 issues there. Then there was 10,000 Miles, which was a graphic novel. We're on 9 issues of Tokyo, so that'd be 3 series. and I did a graphic novel last year called Take the House, which is a heist graphic novel, and that one was on Kickstarter. So that was 4 of my series. Others, like Guardians, were self-funded. I have another project called Seekers of Science, which is paid for by others that I work with. I had one publisher comic, 5 Bullets, 6 Men. Have you ever heard of Source Point Press? That was with them.
All right. Yeah.
They're a great crew. I've done a few fan comics. Those are obviously self-funded. And then my novels I just do myself because I'm only paying for the covers. And then I just have some really nice jobs that help blanket everything when the Kickstarter money isn't enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you write novels also.
Yes.
So you're just a natural writer. You gravitated towards like telling stories, like writing. So this is what I find interesting. How did you figure out or know that you were good with writing? That what you wrote was actually quality?
That's a good question. Well, I think with every writer, we all just start out writing, right? And we just hope it's good. My very first long form writing project, like non-school work or stuff like that, was fan fiction, actually. Are you familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra?
Yes, I'm not really deep into the lore, but I know the
Well,
animation.
I'm a huge fan of the franchise, and I hope some of our viewers are too. And when Legend of Korra season 1 was coming out, I was just finishing college, and I really liked season 1. And they said season 2 was coming, we didn't know when. So I wrote a fan fiction called Avatar: Spirit of Earth. You can technically read it online still today, and I just wrote it as, I had this idea for my avatar, the one to come after Korra. And I was like, let's just put it out there. It was one of those things where it's like burning a hole in your mind. You're just like, I need to get this out. So I went to IGN, had this blog service that they took down eventually, but you could write like anything you want on there. So I wrote a couple chapters in this Avatar series, and my first comment, which became like my most liked comment on the entire blog, was, "Dude, you're too good at this. I want to read more." I'm like, okay,
all right.
So yeah, I know. I was like, that's like the best compliment ever. It wasn't like, hey, good job, or this is nice. It was like, no, I need to read more. I'm like, yeah, okay. So
okay, so was that how you discovered that you had some talent for it?
Well, that was like the spark, because like you can get like one compliment, but then everybody else hates you,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But I took that to heart, and I'm just like, let's keep going. Let's keep trying this. And so I kept writing chapter after chapter after chapter, and I even made an animated video with Alex to do like an Avatar style intro for the project. And I know that people were reading my works because on my YouTube channel right now, if you look at most of my videos, the highest views I've gotten is like a little over 1,000. If you go all the way back to the Avatar Spirit of Earth video, which is like 2012, 2013, it's got like 120,000 views. So people were coming to my blog to read my fanfic and watching my video. And I'm just like, okay. So I wrote, I think it was like close to 60 chapters across 4 books for Avatar Spirit of Earth, a full story. And because of that, I was doing like long-term storytelling, short-term storytelling, character development, plot twist. I had to think about all of it. I had to think about, how would my characters react to this? How would the plot dictate this? Like, what cliffhangers can I use to go into the next chapter? And it was giving me all the experience of being like a long-form writer, which I had never done before, because the most I had ever done was write like game design docs for the video game school I went to, or short stories because that was a class assignment, or writing down small ideas from my head just to see what they would sound like. But this was much more detailed, much more rigorous, and because of that, I got the confidence and saying like, okay, I can do this. And I kept getting like followers and comments, and I had a very popular blog, and then I'm like, okay, where can I translate? Okay, here we go. Legend of Korra was an entertaining sequel to Avatar. Thank you for saying so. I legit, if I have a daughter, I want to name her Korra. That's how much Korra means to me.
Right.
Yeah, but it gave me the confidence to say, like, I can write more. So I started writing teleplays because I wanted to write something for DC Comics because of the Arrowverse that was going on at the time. Back when it was actually peak, just saying. And then after that was when I got the idea, like, hey, let's do comics. It's like, I need to really try the comics thing. And so without Avatar, without fan fiction, I would not have had the confidence to say, I can do this. I can make this work.
1 second, Todd. Tank, have a good work day, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for dropping by. And there's artist says Zahir is my favorite villain.
Ooh, Zahir. He was a great, like, and if you know, but season 2 of Korra. But season 3 was an excellent bounce back, and Zahir was an excellent villain. So excellent taste there, Dares.
Right. So you got some attention through writing that, plus it brought some traffic to your YouTube channel that you have, that YouTube channel geared towards.
No.
Oh, it's broader.
It was just a broader thing. Like right now, it's mainly, if you ever heard the show Death Battle, highly recommend it. I just do like preview. Huh?
With the puppets?
No.
Oh, it's something else?
It's basically they put fictional characters against each other, and then they use math and science to determine who would actually win.
Oh, okay.
Highly recommend. It's a great show. But I do like previews and reviews of their episodes. Like their next one is going to be Ghost Rider versus Spawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah. Oh, you should follow the channel of John's Longbox. I don't know if you know it. John's Longbox. He also has, like, occasionally he has these characters facing off, and then he talks with a guest about who would win with the chat, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you manage somehow to leverage the audience that you gathered through the years towards, like, getting your books funded?
Not as much. Like I would say mine was a bit more organic. I have had people who watch my videos back my stuff. Like I'll be making a video later today for the newest Death Battle episode, and I'll say, there you go. Death Battle is also animated. Yes, it is. They got great. Yeah,
this was what I thought you meant.
Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch.
Celebrity Deathmatch. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was a little before my time, but I knew of it. I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I knew of it. But, I did leverage a few. I've got some dedicateds who watch both. But when I really started doing Kickstarter, like in a more experienced way, I guess I should say, like, not doing stupid stuff just to try and get funded. I grew my fan base just from, I would say, quality of work. I mean, I always showed the pages that we were making, and I tried to do my best to, like, convey the stories and showcase why people should pledge. I tried to have good rewards, and that helped fuel the success of Tokyo, which we'll talk about. And because then it's like, oh yeah, Todd makes good stuff. Todd gets the rewards out. I've only had like one delay in my Kickstarter career, and that's just because my artist said I need to do better on these pages, and so I gave him the time. So yeah, here we go.
There we go. This is your current campaign. It's live right now.
Yep.
Guys, the link is in the chat. It's pinned. It's also in the description of this video. So go check it out. You have 88 backers right now. With 5 days to go, you hit the goal, which is great. Congratulations. But maybe we can make 90 backers during the stream. That will be awesome.
Yeah, I would like that. I like that a lot. Especially since we're clearly ranking up the chat comments right now. So we clearly got people watching. But yeah, so my personal goal is 100, which I don't expect for today, but you never know.
Your previous one was 100 backers, or was that your highest backer number ever?
My highest ever was 113 for one of my graphic novels.
Wow!
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I like to average 100 backers if possible. So guys, if you can help me out, don't worry, I'll explain the comics so you're not just pledging blind. I promise it's an interesting series. Puppets Who Kill, Mike. That's an interesting one. Puppets Who.
It's basically the Canadian version, probably, from Deathmatch or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, or a very dark spin on the Muppets.
All right. Okay, Todd, let's talk about your campaign, about your about this particular series, Tokyo Blade Detectives.
Yep.
The anime-style comic series enters its third arc as a mysterious killer ravages Tokyo. All past issues are available. So does this mean that every arc is 3 issues or something? Or
Every arc we have is 4 issues.
4. Okay.
So volume 1 was 4 issues, volume 2 is 4 issues, and then this issue number 9 is the Kickstart, literally volume 3.
Right. Got it.
And so for all of you out there who might be interested, it's like, I've never read Tokyo, we have 2 catch-up reward tiers that you can find on the Kickstarter page. So I got you covered.
But people could technically like start with issue 9, or is it part of a bigger story?
You can start with issue 9. I wouldn't recommend it just because we've had some really fun stuff, and it's important to see like how Tokyo became what it was right now. So but that's why I offer the catch-up tier so that everyone can catch up.
All right. Mike says puppets who kill are actual puppets, and they're all convicts on probation at a halfway house.
I have so many questions.
Sounds intriguing. Welcome, Sim.
Hello.
Hello, Sim. I think Sim's campaign is also still active. It was called Hell Zone or Kill Zone. I'm sorry, Sim. I'm sorry.
Post it in the comments.
It's Doom. Do you know the game Doom, Todd?
Yeah,
like,
from id Software.
It's basically Doom with boobs. So, yeah, that's how I would describe it.
Such great descriptions on the show today, Dave. I might need that drink after all.
Right. So, shall we start with watching the trailer? What do you say?
Well, if you want, I will say it's unlike any trailer you've ever seen before.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's a good thing.
Okay,
are they going to be able to hear it though? Like the audience.
If you don't hear it, give me a sign, okay?
Okay.
Tokyo rap! On every corner, dangers lurking, they're trying to hurt you. Violence and overload in the streets of Tokyo. Time for some action, get the slashing against these 5 factions. Yeah, take them to school to the land where the guns outlaw. Only the blade can rule. I'm not in the mood for all the evil around me, so I'm ready to duel. Embrace the past, but you won't stop our future. I'm with this illusion, now I'm choosing to change perspectives. Form a little sister leader of the Ronins, now with the detectives. Yeah, we combine skills that'll beat the 9. Telltale, there's peace of mind. We stay sharp, always hit the mark with our blades shining in the dark, ready for the air attack. Every job that we take, we gotta react. Think fair, cause the enemy's on the dash. Since all this evil behind the mask, we fight with full force till death's a fact. Every day's a clash, you never know who's gonna act. We on the crash course, gotta keep up the pace. Always on the chase, never know who's gonna be our next case. It doesn't matter if you're Ronin, a terrorist, or empress. Try to take us on, we'll see who passed the real test. We'll give it our all, though we don't know true rest. With Tokyo Blade Detectives, we are the best. Welcome to Tokyo.
Dude.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, we did that.
Holy shit, dude.
But yeah, that was an anime style intro video that was made over the course of last year. That was one of the 2 big projects I was doing. And it was made by Studio Leaf for animation. And then the voice that you heard was Omega Sparks, that you can find on Twitter. I've known him for a while. He's actually been in Tokyo as a character. And I was just like, I want to do like as cool an intro as possible, have like really fun beat to it, and Omega knocked it out of the park, and the Studio Leaf team did really well. So my dream is to make this an anime. And so I was just like, well, here's your proof of concept, because that was really cool.
Yeah, this works. This works.
Yeah.
Mysteries and sword fights. Says there's artists.
So would you like me just to explain the series for those who are still confused about what's going on?
Yeah. Mike says, very nice anime.
Thank you, Mike.
Top tier production. Will the comics interior art look like the animation, though?
You'll find out as you scroll down to the pages.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's see if I missed any. All right, Hell Zone. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Hell Zone. Right.
Doom with breasts.
What's the name of the campaign? You can find it on Indiegogo, I think. Right. That was fantastic. So regarding the trailer, I'm sold.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Great work. So you worked on that for 1 year, complete year?
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
Holy
back and
shit.
forth. Trying to get it to look the right way. I am very meticulous with how I want my art to look, and so she's like, no, this wasn't right. This wasn't right. That's not how the character looks. It was like a very back and forth process, but I think the results speak for itself, as the comments have proven.
It kind of made me think a little bit about a fighting game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we could do a Tokyo fighting game eventually.
Yeah, maybe the concept is very equipped for that, right?
Yeah.
All right, you have stretch goals unlocked. Let's see.
That's the video you just played, so you just click that.
That's the intro, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you had your hair a little bit different. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my hair is in its final form now. So.
All right.
So.
Tokyo Blade Detectives is back. Excellent.
Here, let's scroll down a little bit more, please. Just so we get to the big question. What is Tokyo Blade Detectives? So, Tokyo Blade Detectives, as you've seen, is an anime-style comic. It's set in a futuristic version of Tokyo, where guns are outlawed and only the blade can rule. Laser blades, that is. The problem is that this creates a power vacuum that's filled by 5 factions who are trying to overthrow the government. And so Tokyo itself is constantly in chaos. And a 16-year-old detective named Miko, who was the girl in the video before, is just trying to survive when in Volume 1 she gets a case that'll change everything. So it's got really good characters, deep intertwined stories, lots of action as you're going to find out, and just a dystopian version of Japan that's also like one of the most technologically advanced places you're ever going to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like the setting you picked requires some research, right?
At times, yes, because I wanted to be both futuristic while also one thing that we talk about in the early parts of the comic is that even though they have all this technology, they kind of want to revert back to like olden days, like their feudal era, which is why like Michio, the male character you saw in the video, has a very classic attire while Miko looks very modern. And then of course the swords are intrinsic to the culture of Japan since feudal times. So it's very much a culture clash of old school meets new school, and that's what is very fun for me.
Okay, Mike says it sounds like Tokyo Now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they have laser swords in Tokyo, Japan right now, but if they do, get me one.
Well,
yeah. And here's our cover. This was the cover drawn by Alex Garcia.
All right.
So he's
Born
really
from
good work.
Pain.
Yeah, that's a reference to All Elite Wrestling. So.
All right.
And then here's our preview pages, so Mike could get his answer. Yeah, very bloody start, but it's.
Is this like the opening page?
Yes, we have the opening 5 pages actually. So
all right,
keep scrolling.
Right.
Yeah. So in this 3rd volume, as you're seeing, there is a mysterious killer who, instead of using a laser sword, is using an old school blade to kill people. And it's starting to freak people out because this isn't how things are supposed to go in Tokyo. So a certain someone who you can see on a certain throne right there, I wonder what that means, who he is, decides that, hey, we need to hire someone to take care of this. And that's where Miko and Michio come in. Yeah.
All right. So they have a mystery to solve.
Yeah.
So what is their job then? What?
Well, they are full on detectives. Like their job, as we see in the first 2 arcs, is they get hired to either in the first arc, Miko is hired to find somebody. In the second arc, they're actually hired to protect somebody. And in this arc, they're asked to track down this serial killer. So.
Right, so sometimes they need to protect people, so it's not just detective work, but it's
a mix of all things. In Tokyo, you adapt. Like that's one of the key philosophies of the people. You adapt. So a detective is just their loose term. Like in general, they're detectives, but they do all kinds of things.
Yeah, laser swords give them weak. I was about to say, if laser swords start somewhere, it has to be Japan.
Absolutely, like everyone agrees on that. So
Max says the 80s, the Japanese are gonna own the tech industry came back then. After the 2010 Fukushima earthquake, a company named Cyberdyne developed the yellow loader exosuit from James Cameron's Aliens. True story. You can look up a demo being modeled in an article online.
well, that's nothing. Japan recently, or like the last 5 years or so, they made a Gundam, like a full-scale Gundam.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
There's
But it was
a good
still,
line.
but I think it was set in place, right? It couldn't move,
but they also
couldn't
moved it.
actually
They
walk.
had it moving its legs.
Yeah, but it couldn't really walk, right?
No, it was like a slow like plod.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it's an elegant weapon for the most civilized age.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay, go ahead. We got a few more pages, so go ahead and keep scrolling.
So you have so they're playing a game.
Yeah, they play Hanafuda, classic Japanese
All right.
game title.
Well,
And
you have
then
to know-
Nishio gets a guess that he's not happy to see.
Oh. Right. So that's his rival.
Yeah, you'll see when you read it. It's
all right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually a samurai, one of the official samurai of this version of Tokyo. And he's the one who's going to hire Miko and Michio to help out, even if they're not exactly the happiest about it. Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts. Is like, she's like, "You want us to hire a serial killer? Can you be more specific?" Like, this is Tokyo. People are crazy here.
I like how this weapon that she carries, how it dissolves here.
Yeah.
And so it kind of functions like a lightsaber.
Can't say that. I can't say it's a lightsaber.
No. I said it functions like a lightsaber.
Yes,
like
it is. Yes, it does function like a lightsaber. Yes, it does. I'm imagining Tokyo Blade's detective versus Texan chainsaw killers. Yeah, my guys would win. It's not a contest. I'm sorry. I mean, even if you give them like the element of surprise, my crew would win. That's a guarantee. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah. That's me.
About you. Bit about the team.
Yeah.
The editor. Oh, you have an editor? All right.
Yeah, I have an editor, and then the main artist for the series with the preview pages we just saw was Alam Vivon. So he's been working with me since issue 1.
Right.
And then for the reward tiers, for anyone who's interested, we have plenty to offer, including, just to start with, the catch-up tiers. We have a digital catch-up tier and a physical catch-up tier. It's all 9 issues sent to you via email or physical copy to your address, whatever you want. And then you can get the comic digitally, you can get it physically, you can get your name in the thank you section, which is a very popular reward. We have stickers, which is a first-time thing we're doing on this Kickstarter. We have let's keep scrolling. See, there's the 2 catch-up tiers right there. Then you can get like everything I have ever made in PDF form. Wow. So that's I know. And then if you really want to get custom, we have a custom image you can ask to be made by Alex, who made all of those art pieces right there that you saw. Some of my favorite pieces from him. Or if you want to get really twisted, scroll down a little bit more.
Wait,
there's
a custom image. What does it mean? Can you like commission something?
Yeah, Alex will be available to anyone to make a custom image based on Tokyo Blade Detectives.
Okay.
So if you want like a really cool shot of Miko or Michio or them fighting somebody from the comics, Alex will make that image. And then one of the bigger rewards right there is you can become one of the victims of the serial killer in Tokyo. Yeah. So I always offer a cameo tier, and this is like where you actually get drawn into the comic. But in this particular issue, because of how I structured it, there's not a lot of just background characters. There's a lot of victims though, because there's a body count. And so you can become part of the body count.
Yeah, you need a lot of bodies. So yeah.
So if you don't mind dying in a comic, that award's available to you. and then for the add-ons, along with some reward bundles, I offer every single book that I have ever made. So that's my superhero series Guardians. That's got 20 issues. Home 5-issue miniseries, sci-fi fantasy style. So complete stories available digitally, physically. We have 10,000 Miles, which is my Disney Pixar style story, one of my personal favorites. Let's see, Take the House. That was my most recent book. That's my heist graphic novel. So if you like Ocean's 11 and 13, we don't talk about the even-numbered Ocean's films. We have that available. 5 Bullets, 6 Men. That's my crime noir. That's the one we published with Source Point Press.
Love the title, by the way.
Thank you. Alex did a really great job on the noir styling for that.
Yeah, this art is crazy, man. With
Alex and Lon did great work.
With the duotone here, really cool.
Okay. Seekers of Science. It's my education book where 2 real friends of mine, Tamara Robertson and Tacey Pinaro, we work together to solve real-world problems with real-world science. So we got the first volume of that available, and I'm working on volume 2 right now. Let's see. We have Sherlock Holmes. We can talk about that. This is one of my novel series. I have written 6 Sherlock Holmes books, and they are available as add-ons if you are interested.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my newest novel is As We Wander the Stars, my tribute to Star Trek, Babylon 5, basically new ship, new crew, all new universe to explore.
Nice.
Yeah, so I offer so many books that fair in saying that I probably have something that some of you watching are interested in.
Interesting art also.
Thank you.
So who drew this?
Alex did that.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's really cool.
Alex was incredible on that.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
All right. Cool. So how far along is this book? Is it done, or are you still working
right now we are finishing up. What I always do is while we're working on the Kickstarter, I typically wait until we hit our funding goal, and then once we hit that, we continue working on the pages. I was confident that we would hit our funding goal just based on past experience, so I just had Lom continue working on the pages, and we're on 17 right now, 17 or 20. So we'll have this finished in early March, and then we'll do lettering and proofing and such. So we'll have at the very least digital rewards sent out by the end of March, if not a lot sooner, and then physical rewards out by April at the latest.
Right. Okay. I always find this interesting. You have your label. This is your label, Black Magic Wolf Productions. How did you come up with that name and that logo?
Okay. So in high school, I had a nickname that started as a really hilariously timed joke. I was playing cards with a friend of mine, and we were playing a game called King's Corners. And in that round I was playing against my best friend, Ro, I was going to lose. I had a whole bunch of cards. There was no way I was going to get out of the situation, except I did. And I won, and he goes furious. And he goes, "How did you do that?" And I go, at the time, I had a catchphrase that I had because I felt I was so stupid. I felt I had to have a catchphrase. And my catchphrase was, "I'm magic." So he said, "How did you win?" I go, "I'm magic." And he goes, "Yeah, black magic." And I go, "I love it." So that was my nickname, was Black Magic for the longest time. And so when I had the idea of making comics and other content, I'm like, I need a name, I need a logo. And I was going to be Black Magic Productions. But in Las Vegas, there is a sound design company or engineering company, and they were called Black Magic Productions. So I'm like, well, crap, I can't take that now. So I'm like, I wanted to keep it in general. So I'm like, well, what's my favorite animal? And that's the wolf. So Black Magic Wolf Productions.
There you go.
Yeah. It's the simplest thing sometimes.
Yeah, I love these stories, man. I love these because you have to come up with a label, right?
Yeah,
So-
and then the label I got for free, actually. I was on, I believe it was the Unity forums, the Unity engine forums. And someone was saying, hey, I'll make logos for somebody. And I'm like, hey, I have one. I want to have a wolf that looks like it's on fire, but also covered in shadow. And he goes, yeah, that sounds cool. I'll do that for you. So he made 2 renditions. And that was the one that I liked the most. And many people compliment me on that logo. I'm like, yeah, it's really great. So.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Really cool.
Thank you.
Right. So what I noticed about your catalog, about you are very, very diverse. There's a lot of there's not one specific genre. It goes all over the place, right? So
yep.
So where do you find your inspiration from?
Well, it honestly just comes from the simple fact that I love all sorts of genres, and this is actually what makes me, I think, a little different from certain people in the comic industry, because I was told by multiple people, first of all, never make superhero comics because there's too many. You can make superhero comics, as Dave himself will tell you.
Oh yeah.
You write what you love. And when I started to branch out, it was because I was submitting to a publisher who said, like, no superhero comics. I'm like, that's fine, I can do other stuff. And it started out as just like, I had story ideas I wanted to make, and like I was inspired by all sorts of things, other TV shows, other comics. Tokyo has a hilarious origin story I'll tell you in a bit. But as I really started like getting comfortable in making comics and doing well on Kickstarter, I was like, I can make any story in any genre I want as long as I'm passionate about it. So like with Take the House, I literally watched Ocean's 11 on Netflix one night, and I'm like, okay, what would my heist story be? And then I came up with an idea, and I went from there. And then I just love these genres. I love fantasy. I love sci-fi. I love mysteries. I love anime. And it's just this passion that I have that I want to tell as many of these stories as I can, these genres that I love. And not just that, but everyone likes something different. Like when I'm at Comic-Cons and I'm doing my thing, I always ask, what genres do you like to read? And they'll say, I like action, I like adventure, I like, slice of life, I like horror. I get a lot of horror people. That's the one book I don't have. I don't have a horror book, and I probably won't ever have one because I don't like it myself. But everyone's got something that they like, and there's something that they gravitate towards. And so by making all these genres and making all these different books, it's not just saying like, oh, well, I can't read this guy's books because I'm not an anime person. Like, well, that's fine. I've got superheroes. I've got sci-fi fantasy. I've got mystery novels. I've got crime noir. I've got something for everybody, or pretty much everybody. And that makes me happy because there's going to be someone who's going to like my books. I just got to get them to my table. So, or to my Kickstarter, as it were.
Yeah, exactly, man. So what do you think is your most popular IP?
That's a good question. I honestly think it's a tie between, and this is based on like recent sales from last year, Home, my sci-fi fantasy miniseries, and Sherlock Holmes. When I did a con last weekend, which the techno thriller genre doesn't get enough. Well, hey, I got epic tech in Tokyo. You'll see, trust me. And it's a thriller. Not Michael Jackson thriller, but that's another topic entirely. But I was at a con last weekend, and Home was easily like one of my best sellers. Like I sold like close to 10 copies over 2 days, which was pretty cool for me. And then Sherlock Holmes is just like one of those IP that, because it's public domain, anybody can write it.
Yeah.
And then when people like go past my table and they see Sherlock Holmes in big print, they go, "Wait, you have a Sherlock Holmes book?"
Yeah.
And I've got 6 books right now, and I've had numerous people come in and go, "Yeah, I'll buy the whole series." Like they'll do it not because of me, but because it's Sherlock.
Yes.
And that's name brand recognition, which
exactly.
And I love Sherlock. I loved Elementary with Johnny Lee Miller. I loved Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. And I'm actually watching the new Watson series with Morris Chestnut. So that was just another one. I was like, I would love to do my own Sherlock Holmes story. And then I found out, oh, yeah, it's in public domain. I could do that. So
Yeah. You will see that more and more now that more like franchises become public domain. Like Conan, you now see people do Conan stories, for instance.
Yeah.
Cool. Really cool. So you said you had this interesting like story behind the creation of this series right here.
Yeah. So Tokyo was ironically born almost because of a joke. And the joke was that I went onto Facebook one day, and those like meme lists where it's like first letter of your last name, first letter of your whatever, and then what is your yada yada yada. Mine was what is your anime. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. I can do this. And so I went on, and it was first letter of your first name, T. First letter of your last name, B. Last letter of your first name, D. T, B, D. Tokyo Blade Detectives. And I was like, at the time, the first Deadpool movie had come out. And so I typed in the comments, Tokyo Blade Detectives sounds like a franchise. And I was it. I entered the comment, I left the page, and I was done. A few hours later, I get a notification stating that I had gotten a comment, but I didn't recognize the person's name. And I usually always know who responds to me. So I'm like, what's this from? And it was from that meme page. And he goes, actually, it is does sound like a franchise. You should work with that. So I'm like, okay. So I looked at the name, Tokyo Blade Detectives. I'm like, okay, what does this tell me about the story? Well, Tokyo, obvious, that's the setting. Detectives is, modern day. But Blade was throwing me off. Why would a modern day detective in Tokyo, or even a futuristic one, need to have a sword when there would be guns? And that's when the line came in my head. In a land where guns are outlawed, only the blade can rule.
Right.
And the moment I said that, the floodgates of my mind opened up and just went whoosh. And I got flooded with ideas to the point where I literally had to go into Microsoft Word and write down everything I was thinking about, like the laser swords, the 5 factions, why they were different, how they tied into the culture of Japan. And yes, I had to do serious research on that. And I just started writing okay, who were the main characters? Why was I had never had that much of a rush of information that I had to jot down before. So that's how special this was. Wow. And I couldn't work on it immediately because I was doing other projects at the time, but I knew I had to do this. And that's when my anime comic was born. And that's why I always say, you never know where inspiration is gonna...
man. Now you
never know.
Now you have 9 issues. That's crazy. That's fantastic. Love that story.
And I want to keep going. So guys, it's right there,
Yeah. Go check it out, guys. Are you planning on doing anything with Popeye?
I know people who are. There's this one guy I know. He's done very well with taking the public domain and putting him into comic space. He's got one with Winnie the Pooh. He just revealed one with Popeye. And they're actual quality. They're not like those weird horror movies that came at the moment those IP dropped.
Yeah, it's kind of. I'm like, all right, a horror movie, original. It's not my thing, but when it's done right, it's done right.
Yeah. So
cool.
I'm not. It would take the right IP for me to dive in. Like Sherlock was one I felt comfortable with because I'd seen the movie, I had seen movies with Robert Downey Jr. I'd seen the TV shows with Cumberbatch and Johnny Lee Miller. I was comfortable enough with the characters and the versions I had seen. I even read the original Sherlock Holmes novel by Arthur Conan Doyle, and I was like, okay, I have a good enough understanding of the characters and their world that I can have some fun with this. So, other IP, like Popeye would be fun, but I'm not sure I would be as passionate about that. Same with Winnie the Pooh. I like Disney Winnie the Pooh, so I wouldn't want to infringe on that per se. But if the right character came along, I might dabble in it, but it would need to be the right character because again, I want to be passionate about my stories like I am with Tokyo or Secrets of Science or Take the House and As We Wanted to Stars and such.
Right. All right. Todd, before we close off, do you have some final statements about your campaign or to say to the viewer about your campaign, why they should back this book? Something we didn't talk about?
Well, I'll just talk right to the viewers and say, all I'm asking for is you just check out the campaign. You can read the stuff yourself, give it a chance. Again, we got catch-up tiers, so you can get all 9 issues at once. I got plenty of fun rewards. And if you have a question about the rewards, about the books, you can ask me on Kickstarter. I'll happily answer them. I really love Tokyo Blade Detectives. It's got a lot of fun storytelling, some really interesting characters. This third arc is going to be really cool. We actually have a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference in one of the pages. It's a lot of fun. Okay. And I'm just very proud of what my team has produced here, and I would love it if you gave it a chance. That's all I can ask.
Great. Excellent. Guys, go check it out. The link to this is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. You can also find other locations you can follow Todd and Todd's work, right? All right, guys, before we close off, I have something of my own to share for a moment, which is Perfect 10, book 1 to 5, and POWERTRIP book 1 and 2. So this is superhero stuff. Believe me, guys, you can still make superhero stuff. Just make sure it's quality, right? Make sure that's good. So I'm doing superheroes because I loved superheroes. The mainstream, not so much now, but I'm making the comics that I'm missing, that I wanted to buy, right? So we're building this universe with a lot of colorful, cool characters. The story of Perfect 10 tells the story about a synthoid, which is a created being. She's not human, and she wakes up in this superhero universe, and she finds herself in this war between two superpowered factions, and she has to figure out what her own role is, right? So I'm working with the legendary Pau Rodrigues. He also worked for Marvel and for DC, and now he works with me. You can pick from 3 covers. We have cover A, which is this one, cover B, which is 10 in this fantastic, like 90s armor with the biggest gun that we could fit on the page. And we have the 3rd cover, which is a rare cover drawn by Alan Goldman, and you can only get this as add-on. There are only like 50 left, so grab this while you can, right? The artwork is fantastic. This issue 5, the books are done, so fulfillment has begun, guys. But if you back on Kickstarter, fulfillment has to wait a little bit because the campaign ends March 10, and then I can send out the surveys and people can send me their addresses, and then we can start fulfilling this also. Alongside Perfect 10 Book 5, we also have this other new comic called POWERTRIP issue 2, which tells 3 shorter stories from the Jamie Comics universe, the same universe. It's made by different creative teams. So every new issue of POWERTRIP will invite new creative teams to like tell stories of new characters and new concepts, so we can see what people like, you know. And we have just too many characters, too many ideas. We can't make like series for all of them, but we can introduce them through POWERTRIP. So for instance, we have Shadow Lion, a Brazilian street level hero who takes on the Brazilian underworld, and he faces off against beings who aren't really human, right? Exciting stuff. It's drawn by Eder Messiah, and Eder Messiah is right now drawing for Marvel. I think he's doing Moon Knight. The Flying Dutchman, which is our like Superman archetype, right? But he's from the Netherlands, so that's like a little twist right there. And he meets this little this speedster girl. What's the story there? So go find out. It's drawn by Pau. It's written by myself, and then finally we have the Phenomenals, which tells the story about 5 superheroes who never made it through the Superhero Academy, but still form this group anyway because they want to be superheroes, right? Really cool, drawn by Gilbert Monsanto and written by Lee Byron Carver, who also wrote The Company Man. You can also get a commission, so any character you want, Pau will draw for you. Can be a Jamie-verse character, can be mainstream, can be your own. Whatever you want, you can use it for anything. You get the original art plus a high-res scan sent to your email, and stretch goals are unlocked. So go check that out, guys. Share and my screen shares. There we go. Darius Art says, can I get them in Deventer in about a month? Yes, I'll be there. Looking forward to seeing you again. Mike says, well presented, sir. So that's to you, Todd.
You're welcome. Hope you pledge.
Yeah. Todd, thank you so much for being my guest for today and for showing us your campaign.
It was a lot of fun, Dave. Thank you.
I hope you get a bunch more backers. That you get
5 days
get
left.
over 113. We want to have at least 114, right? To break the record.
Yeah, break the record. Let's do it.
Break the record. Right. All right, guys. This was the show for today. I'll be back next week. So same time, same channel. New guest. I can't tell you the guest just yet, but it'll be great. And Todd, thanks again. And chat, see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.